love, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Pauline. If you are new here, I talk about all things locks, business, locticians, things like that, okay? So today we're talking about the 2-point rotation. Many of you guys have asked me about the 2-point rotation and so forth. So I'm going to talk about the 2-point rotation. And after I'm done, if you have any questions or comments about the 2-point rotation, be sure to put it in the comments. Why am I breathing like I'm out of breath? All I did was get up and hit record. Okay, so today I have Becky with me. Where's Becky's face? Okay, today I have Becky with me. I don't know where. I think I left Sabrina at the shop. And I'm not going to go to the shop just to get Sabrina. So we're just going to work with Becky today, okay? And it's good to work with Becky so you can see the different, how, you know, it looks on different hair textures, right? Because whether you're a Becky or not, we all have different hair textures throughout our hair, throughout our head. So you're going to be dealing with different textures anyway. Some of you guys got that straight hair somewhere around. Some of you guys got that coily, deep coily hair in certain areas. So yeah, we just gonna work with Becky today, okay? Because yeah, I don't see Sabrina. I got her, but she doesn't have any hair. I use her when I'm doing demonstrations for parting for my students. So I like to work on a, you know, a bald head. Okay, so, but I'm not gonna need her for the demo. I'll use Becky for my demo, okay? So, okay, let's get into it. What's a 2-point rotation? So a 2-point rotation is just you're interlocking. So the 2-point rotation, you're still using the interlocking technique, but you're using 2 points to interlock the hair to lock it. There's 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, and some people can add some extra points however they want to. You know, I've heard of different points, so it's up to you to what, you know, what you want to go with. But for the video today, we're simply going to talk about the 2-point rotation. So the 2-point rotation is an interlocking method that you use to lock the hair. If you're going to use the direction for south, east, west, or north, or whatever, you're going to go, what's this? You're going to go west, and then you're going to go south. So west, south, west, south. That's all you're doing, okay? When you're doing the 2-point, if you're using if you're using the west-south. If you're using the clock, you're going to go 9-12, 9-12, 9-12. Depending on how your arm is positioned on your head, you might end up doing 3-12, 3-12, or 9-12, 9-12. Either or, it's a perpendicular, you're going in a T, perpendicular. So that's going to help create that 2-point rotation. I hope I'm making sense to you guys. Don't worry about it. I am going to show a demo. So you're in good hands, okay? So we've already talked about the 2-point rotation being an interlocking technique using the 2-point, you know, either west, south, or 9-12 or 3-12, depending on how you're doing it, right? And I know I'm pointing down saying 12, but don't worry about it. I'm going to explain it later, okay? So why the 2-point rotation? Why would someone need to use it? When would someone need to use it? And so forth. So the 2-point rotation, majority of the time is people that self-retie that do the 2-point rotation. So you have people who self-retie that use the 2-point rotation. You have people who are, you have locticians who may use the 2-point rotation. You could be using it because you know what you're doing, because there is, you know, there is a reason why you could use the 2-point rotation. But I see a lot of people who don't know much about interlocking and don't know how and why they do things that use the 2-point rotation. So, hey, if you are thinking about doing a self-retie on your hair, you want to learn how to maintain your own locks, you want to know how to care for your locks, I do offer a self-retightening class. I have it in person and I also have it online. Online, it is pre-recorded, watch at your own pace, lifetime access, and you have support from me, from myself and my team through our Facebook group. So if you need want to learn how to self-retie and you want something that is self-paced, online is great for you. The videos are very thorough, shows you everything. It shows you how to interlock using the 2, 3, and 4-point method. Shows you how I also go over some repairs as well. So if you're looking to learn how to self-retie your own hair, I do have an online video for you that you can purchase. If you feel like, okay, you want to come in person, I am located in Snellville. The classes are held in Snellville, Georgia. They're offered once a month. The last class I have scheduled is December 9th. I only have 2 slots left. So if you want to come in person to learn how to self-retie, that option is available for you as well. So the next date we have is December 9th. After that, I don't have January's date yet, but the dates will be planned out at the beginning of next year. So back to the video. The benefit of a 2-point rotation is if you are self-retightening, a 2-point rotation is easier. It is easier for someone who is self-retightening to do their own hair. One, it eliminates that awkward 6-point when you're trying to do all this and then go, you know what I'm saying? So when it's 2-point, you're just going here, here, here. Y'all see my hand motion? When it's a 2-point, that's all you're doing. So people who self-retie will do a 2-point rotation because it is easier. Now, a loctician one reason why a loctician might benefit from a 2-point rotation is that it's quicker. Some people might find it quicker because you're not doing all these awkward positions, right? So that's one of the benefits. Another benefit that someone might get from the 2-point rotation is that it gives a coily look. Sorry, if y'all see me looking there, I'm just looking at my notes so I don't forget, because sometimes I record a video and I just go by memory, and then later on I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to mention this, and I'm trying not to forget. I might still forget to mention something, but at least I have what's written down right here, okay? So I won't forget that part. But a 2-point rotation, people will like the coily look that a 2-point rotation will give because it has a bend to it, and because it has a bend to it, it gives it a coily look. So that's one of the benefits of a 2-point rotation. Another benefit is some people will use a 2-point rotation to get a fuller look. To get a thicker look, to make the strand thicker. Y'all get what I'm trying to say. So because the hair bends, and when it bends, it kind of widens the width of the lock. So because of that, people will use it to get a thicker lock look, if that makes sense. So we talked about how it's easier. The 2-point rotation, the benefit of it is that it's easier on your hand and your body. It is quicker. You're just doing 2, rotations, so it's quicker. And then you have the coily look. Some people like that coily, springy look. And then it gives it, and also another one is that it gives it a little bit of thickness on a 2-point rotation. So people with finer hair might find themselves using a 2-point rotation. Now, disclaimer, some people don't like the 2-point rotation and some people don't think the 2-point rotation should be an option for interlocking. To each his own. To each his own, okay? So I'm not going to go into all the to each his own. So, all right. Now, concerns that people might have with a 2-point rotation is that with a 2-point rotation, just like any rotation, it's going to look different on the texture of the hair. So if you have straight hair, if you have really coily hair, it's going to look different on different heads. So a 2-point rotation is going to be different. Okay, so that's one of the concerns. Also, another concern is the 2-point rotation is going to also look different. Well, it's not necessarily a concern. It's just, something to be mindful of. It's going to look different on the texture, and it's going to look different on the size of the lock. So some rotations are really not visible depending on the size of your lock. If you got some really, really skinny skinte strands, child, you won't even it's hard to tell whether it's a 2, 3, 4, or whatever, right? But with some people, you might be able to see the difference. So depending on the texture and your size, that rotation, 2-point rotation, is going to look slightly different. Is it going to be a huge difference? No, but it's going to look slightly different. Okay. The other thing, let's talk about the appearance of a 2-point rotation. With a 2-point rotation, the hair is, I've shared that already. The lock is going to look, it's going to have a coily look, and it's going to be springy. I can stretch, this hair is straight and I can still stretch it a little bit. Whereas if you have a kinkier, if you have deeper coils, you have a coily texture, it's going to be more springy. So some people, you can, pull their hair, stretch it, and it will stretch a little bit. So you're going to have that springy look. Okay, so what else? The coil is going to be rounder. The lock is going to give you a more round or cylinder look with a 2-point rotation. And it's going to be springy. So it's going to be rounder, it's going to be coily, and it's going to be springy. It's going to have a bent to it. So that's pretty much the appearance. And once again, that appearance is going to change. It's going to look different depending on the texture and depending on the size of the lock. Okay, so that's pretty much it with a 2-point rotation as far as what you should know about a 2-point rotation. Some people, like I said, most people who self-retie use a 2-point rotation and their locks look beautiful. So as long as you're making sure you're going in the center of the lock, when you go in at the base, that you're in the center, as long as your technique is good, you good, So I think that's all I got for you guys on the 2-point rotation. So if you're self-retightening, another thing that I want to mention, some people usually ask, I was doing a 4-point rotation. Can I switch to a 2-point rotation? And the reason why they're switching, it could be because one, what we talked about before, the ease of the 2-point rotation. So they might switch because it's easier and quicker. They might also switch because they want a thicker, a thicker lock look. So sometimes people want to know, can they switch from one rotation to the next? Yes, you can always switch from 4 to 2, 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 3. You can always switch. Depending on your hair, it might look slightly different, but once that lock is mature, there's not, you don't see a huge difference in it. And really, honestly, when you're looking for the difference, you really have to be in that lock like this to see a difference. If you just see somebody's hair, Becky's just walking down the road, I ain't gonna see, I won't be able to tell just by looking at Becky walking what rotation she's using. So it's not a huge difference. So can you switch rotations? Yes, you can. Would it look different? Maybe a little bit. Once again, it depends on your size and your texture. And even then, once the locks mature, it's going to look different. Just think about when you first got locked, your locks, if you're using a 4-point rotation, look like a little braids, right? But once it matures, it looks like locks. So same thing with the 2-point rotation. Now with the 2-point rotation, if you have hair like Becky, okay? If you have hair like Becky, a 2-point rotation might, you will experience slippage. It's more prone to slippage. So you have to make sure if you're going to start your locks, I wouldn't recommend starting with 2-point rotation, but if you're going to start your locks off with a 2-point rotation and you have hair like Becky, make sure you braid and band, let that thing dry. Use protective style, do what you got to do, because that 2-point rotation on hair like Becky, it is going to potentially cause slippage, because you ain't got a lot to hold it. Whereas when you have coily hair, the coilier your hair is, the more it holds the lock. Okay. I think that is all for the 2-point rotation. If you have any questions of anything that I didn't think of, I might have missed, let me know in the comments, and I might do a part 2 if it's needed. So that's all I have for you. Don't forget to like, comment, share the video. Please share. Any support I can get, I will greatly appreciate it. And once again, if you have any questions, drop them below. See you next time. Bye.